Happy Monday, everybody. It is the Prop Queen, Ariel Epstein, taking you to 6 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Prop Queen Pod. Happy Sports Equinox to everybody. We've got a million different games on today. I think it's 11 NBA games, the World Series Game 3, Monday Night Football, and 2 hockey games tonight. As I said in my tweet, big announcement today. Big announcement. Tune in now. Been so excited. Joining the show today is going to be Mid-Major Matt at 5:10 in just a couple of minutes. He's going to be talking some World Series and Monday Night Football props. And then we've got Jared R. Black from Trinity Analytics, and he's going to break down for us NBA and Monday Night Football props as well. I know that Matt is joining the show any minute now, and I probably should just get to him first, but I'm going to get to the big announcement first. Let me just get the graphics up. That's why I was running a little late today, because there was a lot going down before this announcement. So we have a new sponsor. And it's not to say that we don't have Pickett. We have Pickett. We have Props.cash. We have all of the other sponsors. But there has been a massive need and want for some kind of gaming service to be our sponsor. That's what you need. It could have been, we were searching everywhere. We were fielding all these offers, and all I wanted was for somebody to sponsor the show that was some kind of book, gaming service, etc. And we got one. And today is the first day that we get to debut it. It's been months in the making. Matt doesn't even know. A lot of people don't even know, because you never know with these deals. But today, it is the first day that we are officially sponsored. The official sponsor of the Prop Queen Pod is officially Prizepicks. So I'm very excited, and it feels weird just saying this by myself and you guys are just in a chat. But I'm really happy and really excited that Prizepicks is officially sponsoring the Prop Queen Pod. So we are going to do a lot of different Prizepicks lineups. There are different promo codes that you guys could use and get some deals on if you are not a Prizepicks person yet. But Prizepicks is now the official sponsor of the Prop Queen Pod, and it was perfect because it's all about different ways to put players into your lineup. And that's exactly what the Prop Queen Pod is all about, is getting different players in your lineup, and essentially what we've been doing with props, but it's going into a Prizepicks lineup instead, and you get more bang for your buck. They have some better odds on there too. It's not really odds, but you know what I mean. So I'm really excited because, again, getting a sportsbook sponsor or a gaming sponsor was a massive want for me, and I'm just really glad that we've gotten it. Some of the states that it is active in, Colorado is one of them, for whoever asked there. For Prizepicks, Pick'em is available in Arkansas, DC, Georgia, Indiana, Minnesota, New England, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, New York, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, South Carolina, San Diego, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Pick'em Arena is available for 18 and up in Arkansas, California, Florida, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Oregon, Tennessee, West Virginia, Wyoming, New Hampshire, Delaware, Missouri, Alabama, Colorado, and Arizona, Massachusetts. So those are a lot of the states that it's active in. And sorry, Matt, I'm putting you on hold for a second because I was running very behind today. And then we also got this from Prizepicks as well, which is very nice of them, because I know a lot of you guys may not have Prizepicks lineups or Prizepicks in general. So they were nice enough to say that anybody who was to join from the Prop Queen Pod using promo code PropQueen, play $5 and instantly get $50 in lineups. So go over to Prizepicks, use promo code PropQueen, and you can sign up and get you play $5, get $50 instantly as our first bonus. But then, of course, whenever we continue to grow, there's going to be a lot more things that we could do over at the Prizepicks family. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's over at Prizepicks. And like Jessica said, the people over there are great. They really are. So anybody who has questions, you can definitely reach out, DM me. And again, I am so grateful. And I'm grateful for all of you, because if it wasn't for proving that the show is growing and that it's worth investing in, we wouldn't have had Prizepicks join. So it's a great Monday. Super excited to have Prizepicks with the Prop Queen pod. And we still do have all of the others with props.cash and Pickett, which you could use promo code Prop Queen to sign up. Props.cash, you still get 50% off of the first month that you sign up. So it's like $9. And we're going to use props.cash a lot today because it helped me put together my first official Prizepicks lineup. Prizepicks was actually legal in New York for a while. And then last year or a couple of years ago, they ended up pulling it because of the rights and the laws in New York about fantasy style gaming. I have to be careful because I can't say, there's certain words you can't say, but there's fantasy style gaming that you can't do in New York. And then in the last month, Prizepicks came back. So very excited because I think that there's a lot of bang for your buck and it's a lot more fun to be able to put a bunch of different props together. So to help us out in putting all these different lineups together and getting us some great info for World Series, Monday Night Football, he's going to be hosting the show this Friday and coming Monday because I'm going on vacation. It is the great mid-major Matt. Happy Monday.
Happy Halloween week, Ariel. Happy Halloween week is the best time of year.
No, why? You don't even seem that happy about any other day of the week. Why are you a Halloween person?
Because I have a dark soul and I love horror movies and candy and costumes and passing out trick-or-treat candy and doing all that.
But you don't even do anything. You just sit there and hand out candy?
No, this year I'm walking around with some friends and their kids and partaking in
I was going to say, don't walk around and take candy for yourself. That would be weird.
Probably going to do the show on Friday in a costume. So that'll be fun.
In spite of me?
Why would that be in spite of you? It's not your show on Friday. It's my show.
That's fair. I just feel like you're trolling me.
I mean, it's your fault that you have a terrible opinion. That's fine. I mean, you have like a few of them.
I don't like to come up with costume ideas that I am going to throw out said costume the next day. I don't feel the need to dress up. Like, I don't like dress up.
Okay, that's fine. Be a Grinch. That's for Christmas though. So like, just be a Grinch. That's all.
I am a Christmas Grinch. I mean, Halloween Grinch.
It's fine. It's the best day of the year. Love it.
Best way to ultimately see people's weird minds and their costume picks. You know what the weirdest costume I ever had was?
What?
In middle school, 6th grade, my friends decided it would be a creative idea to dress up as a movie theater floor.
So there's a great popcorn and all sorts of other things.
We wore black sweatshirts and we stuck like wrappers of candy and popcorn and all different things onto our black sweatshirts.
Wow.
Wasn't that so creative?
That's very creative, but like...
What was the weirdest costume you ever had? Chad, I want to hear yours too. We'll pick them at the end.
So I was the NBA lockout one year. That was many years ago.
What did you do, put a lock on yourself in an NBA jersey?
Well, no. So I deflated an NBA basketball, cut it in half and put it on my head. Then I put a sweatshirt on with a giant NBA logo, had a necklace of locks, and then with some sad faces of some NBA players. So I was an NBA lockout. I was Netflix and chill one year. I was the Geico camel who said hump day. I was that. I was Ace Ventura. I was a Yankee candle. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. And as you can tell, by the way, since you're a Northeasterner like me, you know Mischief Night too, right?
Oh, I love that. That was my fun night.
Mischief Night was always a fun night. I like to
We called it something else though. There was something else, another word for it. Chat, help out. It's called something else.
I had only known it as Mischief Night, and that was the night I put shaving cream under people's door handles, and that was pretty much the extent of
thing, but it's called something else. Was it Gate Night or Gate Night? I think it was Gate Night.
I had never heard of that.
It's the same thing. We did the same thing. We toilet papered people's houses and cars. Yeah, I think we called it Gate Night. Devil's Night, Gate Night, Goosey Night, Moving Night, Cabbage Night, Mat Night, and Mischief Night are all like the same thing.
By the way, Mark, I also was crisscross one year. That was awesome. That was a great one because all you had to do was wear your pants backwards and just wear oversized stuff and just know, crisscross will make you jump, and then,
Jump.
Mm-hmm. You don't remember crisscross? Oh, you're a little younger than I am, so you don't remember crisscross, do you?
No, okay, fine. Let's go into World Series. Come on, people want to know. People want winners tonight. Let's talk about some World Series odds. You are loving. We spoke about it this morning. you were loving Max Scherzer today. How are we going to play Max Scherzer on the mound?
So we're really not, we don't love anything. These are two, I'm telling people now, these are two sprinkle bets. These are just because I want something on tonight. I couldn't watch the game tonight and not have something on it. So they're not loves. So don't feel like you have to tail. And I put down as my reasoning for one of them, I'm taking the over on Max Scherzer's outs at 11.5. And basically my reasoning is it's a hunch. It's a veteran guy who I think can get 4 innings out of against the Dodgers lineup. A lot of the Dodgers hitters don't have good numbers against him in his career. Now, I understand a 40-something Max Scherzer is not the ace 30-something Max Scherzer that we had earlier, but I'm playing a hunch that he has over 11.5 outs. I was just waiting for the juice to come down because it was extreme last night. And then I also played his over on his walks because we hit it the first time against Seattle. We hit that in the first inning. He had 2 walks in the first inning. He had 3 walks in LA against the Dodgers during the regular season. He's had a little bit of a walk issue, and I feel like the Dodgers have to be a little bit more patient today than they were against Gausman. We lost the walks over on Gausman in game 2, so I'm going to go back to the well and take Scherzer's walks over as well.
So I love the walks over for Scherzer, and I told you that earlier because look at this. Scherzer to go over even a half a walk. Did you get 1.5?
Yeah, I don't know where they were offering half a walk.
So on Prizepicks, it was a half a walk you could get in your Prizepicks lineup.
Okay.
But that's for over 1.5 walks, which let's say away 4 of the last 5, away at night in the playoffs. Well, only 1. But I love that away 4 of the last 5. He's had at least 3 walks. And then on Prizepicks, if you were to go down to half a walk, which this is props.cash, but Prizepicks had a half a walk. I mean, he walks a ton of batters. Scherzer's wild.
He is, but Gausman was going through a wild stretch too, and the Dodgers drew 0 walks. And I feel like the best way to win this series for either team is to get the starting pitcher out. So the Dodgers at home, I think, will hopefully be a little bit more patient. The problem for me is if he walks a lot of guys, I win that bet, but then I'm probably not hitting the 4-inning mark. I'm not hitting the over 11.5 outs. So I'm hoping
you need him to space out some walks.
Correct. I need him to space everything out.
It could be Scherzer's last start too. Like maybe there's some kind of Toronto will give him a little extra, like a little leeway.
Maybe
it could be his last career start.
Maybe it could be. I mean, the funny thing is he'd be lined up for game 6, probably game 7. I mean, game 7, Max Scherzer. I wouldn't hate starting a game with Max Scherzer, letting him go through the lineup in one time, but. I mean, I don't think we're getting to
World Series aren't meant for nostalgia.
No,
like
you have
personal
to win
nostalgia. Mark says he doesn't have a walks prop, so he needed a baseball prop instead of walks. Well, Matt did give out the over and outs for Max Scherzer. Is there anything else that you would have put in your MLB portion of an Equinox parlay?
So, I was looking, I love my first 5-inning bet. My thing is, I'm more apt to take the Blue Jays over 1.5 for the first 5. I don't think shadows will be an issue. It'll be 5 o'clock out there. So maybe it's an issue early, but they made the Dodgers first 5 runs 2.5, which I didn't want to take because if Scherzer's pitching well, then they're going to go under that. But I'd maybe consider Toronto over 1.5 runs first 5 innings if we think that there's no shadows tonight and Glasnow gets rocked a little bit.
I'm going to give out some MLB props a little bit later in the show. Mark, I do have some hitter props that I was looking at. And if you are dying to get it in right now, those 2 names, we go to George Springer over on runs and we go to a new one, Will Smith. Will Smith is hitting over 400 in his 6-game hit streak. He hits well at home. He does well with a day off. Matt, there is that day off in between. Did that impact your handicap at all?
Well, I think that's why we're getting a shorter number on Scherzer's outs. I mean, I think that's why we're getting somewhat of a shorter number for Glasnow's outs at 16.5. But I mean, if this was last series, I would be taking the over. Like if this was the Brewer series or the Phillies series, I would 100% be taking over 16.5 outs with Glasnow. Now I think there's a little less margin for error. I mean, obviously Dave Roberts has to wonder a less than 100% Glasnow in like the 5th inning or his terrible bullpen. So like maybe he leaves Glasnow out there a little bit longer, but 16.5 is interesting considering what was it? Yamamoto's was 17.5 and I think Snell's was 17.5 as well.
He's old man Max Scherzer, so we do have to err with caution. But you are right that these bullpens have not been trustworthy, especially the Dodgers, though. But Max Scherzer has, 4 games under his belt as a starter in LA as a Dodger. So maybe it's a little revenge spot for him as a Toronto starter.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't think. I think
Kidding. I don't think he cares
because
about
he's
the
an
revenge
angry.
stuff.
I think he's an angry guy in general when he gets on the mound. So I think he's just gonna have a revenge on everybody. I mean, Vlad has the best numbers in this game against Glass now. He's 6 for 17 with a homer. That's the thing. I mean, Bo Bichette's 2 for 16 in his career with 4 strikeouts. So maybe an under on Bo Bichette, potentially. Who knows?
Let's go to Monday Night Football. We've got an injured Commanders team. You work in the area. He does radio, for anyone that doesn't know, mid-major Matt, radio in the Northern Virginia area. So the Commanders are a big part of what Matt covers. You don't have a quarterback in Jaden Daniels. You're up against the Kansas City Chiefs on the road in Arrowhead. How are you? I guess we'll start kicker whisperer.
So I'm not taking Matthew Wright, which for those who missed it, Matt Gay is not playing in the game tonight. He was just downgraded to out. So Washington signed Matthew Wright and then promoted him from the practice squad. I think if somebody offers a Matthew Wright prop, I don't know if DraftKings even put one up yet, but I'd potentially look at his field goal under. I just don't think field goals are going to do it for the Commanders tonight. Like, I don't think that they are going to settle. Oh, they don't even have it up yet, but they do have some over how many field goals made. Like, I would almost look at an under 3.5 total field goals potentially. I just don't see Washington settling. I think Dan Quinn goes for it a lot tonight because he's got a guy literally off the street that's going to be their starting kicker tonight. And I don't see the Chiefs kicking 4 field goals. So maybe under 3.5 field goals for the game potentially here on this one.
How about on the Kansas City side?
I mean, Washington gives up a lot of field goals, 2.4 field goals attempted against the Commanders, 2.3 on the road, 3 on average the last 3 games. We know the Chiefs at times have problems in the red zone, but Washington's defense is brutal. Like, Washington's defense is really bad. See, I think there's a path for Washington to make this game interesting tonight. I think if Mariota transitions from game manager to like a guy who makes winning plays, and if Bill Krosky Merritt runs really well tonight, I think they can keep the ball away from Kansas City, but I just don't see that defense making the stops that matter. So I think actually I gave you the Butker one, but I'm actually going to play, I think, under 3.5 field goals for the game tonight because I just don't think Washington's going to kick any, and I don't think Kansas City's going to get stopped in the red zone. Ooh,
okay. So no more Harrison Butker. We're going under on field goals. You like a receiving yard prop, and it's very low at 2.5. Who?
So last night I got this at 0.5 and it's gone up since then, but I like over 2.5 receiving yards. And it's only on, am I allowed to give the book? I don't think I can give the book because it's only in one place. BetMGM has Tyquan Thornton over 2.5 yards receiving. I got it half a yard last night. I get it that every play is going to go to Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy now. But if you look at this Kansas City Chiefs lineup, and I'm pulling up the snap count now, Tyquan Thornton's been in on 33% of the snaps. So it's not like he didn't play much. Now, look, I expect Rashee Rice's number to go up from 41% last week. But, like, who would you rather play, Tyquan Thornton or Juju Smith-Schuster? Like, I think Tyquan Thornton is better. And all you need is one catch. Like, all you need is one catch from Tyquan Thornton. All you need him is literally to fall forward, and he'll go over 2.5 yards. Problem is it's only on BetMGM. So that's the only place you can get it. And I think there's so much value, and this is why we always talk about having multiple outs when it comes to sports books, because usually I get these little ones on DraftKings, but BetMGM put up, like, everybody. Like, even an offensive lineman, it feels like, is on BetMGM. So I like over 2.5 receiving yards for Tyquan Thornton tonight. His snap count number doesn't mean he's not going to get targets. It just means he's not going to be out there as much.
Sometimes these low numbers, even though they feel a little sketchy, they're wrong. The book just doesn't realize, and there could be numbers in prime time. There could be a good matchup. There could be an injury, and the books just don't adjust. And I feel like that could be one of those situations. I've hit that before on a bunch of quarterback rushing yard props too, Matt.
Yeah, I'm looking now. So it went down to 1.5. So you're getting 1.5 now, which is even better because it was 2.5 when I gave it to you. And now I even listen, Noah Gray's number's 5.5. I mean, like, Noah Gray gets a lot of snaps in that offense.
So I was looking at Noah Gray. I was shocked in prime time, according to Props.Cash. in prime time, Noah Gray has like 0 targets in the red zone, which shocked me because the Commanders are bad against tight ends. So I was looking at Noah Gray tonight.
Yeah, and his snap count, if you look at it, he consistently plays about 55, 60% of the snaps. He played 59% last game, 75% the game before. I didn't even realize they have Robert Tonyan, the Packers tight end. But like Gray is in there quite a bit. And if you look the last 2 weeks, 28 yards and 25 yards, like it's not a terrible bet if you want to sprinkle on some of these other guys. Like I think Gray is certainly in the mix tonight to get a catch or two. And certainly at a number of 5.5, that's not bad. It's minus 125 to the over. So people have found this bet.
People in the chat asking about Mahomes. Matt does have a Mahomes prop, but it's, I think, the first time he's going to this market. What is it?
Yeah, I'm taking him not to throw an interception. Now, here's the thing. So since I did it, when I gave it to you yesterday, this earliest morning, it was minus 135 on BetMGM. It's minus 185 now. It's just Mahomes just doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. And I think this Washington secondary is terrible. And so, yes, this is a market that usually I don't play because I just don't get a number I like. But you're giving me Mahomes, who has 2 interceptions so far this year against a secondary that feels like just doesn't force a lot of turnovers. His 2 interceptions were against the Eagles and the Jaguars. Like, I just don't see him. I think there's a chance he doesn't throw a ton tonight because they're going to be winning by so much. Like, he might only have 30-ish attempts tonight, and I just don't see this defense forcing any turnovers.
I couldn't believe that you were giving that out. I was like, you're going to the interceptions market? Damn.
The last thing that I kind of like, and I was trying to do some research as I was doing my show this afternoon, I either like Jalen Lane or Luke McCaffrey over their number. Why? Because one of them is the slot is the place to get Kansas City, I think. And both of them, when they get catches, are long receptions. The problem is they have inconsistent snap counts. There's been one game this year where Debo and Terry McLaurin were both healthy and Noah Brown was not healthy. In that game, Luke McCaffrey played 36% of the snaps. Jalen Lane only played 24%. But if you look at their numbers, though, when they catch the ball, it's at least like a 10-yard catch, it feels like. So I don't know which one, though, and it kind of worries me because both of them are around 10.5. Luke McCaffrey's 10.5 and Jalen Lane's 11.5. One of them's going to break a long run tonight. I just don't know which one.
Mid-Major Matt going to be hosting the show on Friday and Monday. I am excited to probably not watch, but I'll watch it back on YouTube. I'm just kidding. Friday I'll be traveling, so I won't be able to watch. But on Monday, maybe I'll tune in while I'm sitting on the beach enjoying the Aruba sunset.
You won't.
I might, if I can get service. Here's the best part of where I stay in Aruba. It's not where everyone else stays, and the Wi-Fi sucks.
Well, I mean, you should be unplugged anyway.
Thank you. I still have 3.5 days left here in misery. So you make what?
It's not misery.
Is
every place outside of Aruba miserable? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I guess that's true.
I mean, it's a pretty high bar.
We'll say. I'm interested to see what your next guest says because we've agreed, I think, each of the last 2 weeks, and we've nailed those props.
You guys, I think you and Jared have, when you guys have agreed on a prop, you guys have been undefeated.
I think we're 2-0 or 3-0.
Yeah, and has it only been kicker props?
It has been, because I'm the kicker whisperer, and he can deem himself whatever he likes to deem himself. And we just nailed it. Ask him about the under 3.5 field goals, and if he agrees, then we've got another victor.
So it's Commanders under 3.5 field goals.
No. It's total game.
Total game under 3.5 field goals.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what Jared has to say about it coming up next. Matt, thank you as always for coming on. You can follow him on the newsletter at midmajormatt on thepropqueen.com and follow him at midmajormatt on all his socials. Anything else you want to plug?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt, and we will see you Friday.
Sounds good.
Coming up now, we are going to be joined by Trinity Analytics and my friend from over at props.cash, Mr. Jared Block. Follow him at Jared R. Block on X. What's up, Jared?
How you doing? We're now in the time of sports where I'm getting like 300 notifications from Underdog a day, and I'm a little bit bummed by that, but we do have Sports Equinox, so I can't be upset.
It is Sports Equinox. So I said to Jared, because I don't know if you saw, we are now officially sponsored by Prizepicks. So I'm very excited about that. We need to do a sports equinox prize picks lineup, and I did mine already, but I definitely want to do our normal Monday night, but instead of it being a Monday Night Football SGP, let's do some kind of Monday Night Football prize picks line. A Monday Night Equinox prize picks lineup. We got a few different sports in there. I know NBA. Everybody is like excited to hear your NBA thoughts as well throughout the season. So we'll do NBA. We'll do some Monday Night Football. First, Matt wants to know if you agree on him with the under 3.5 field goals in tonight's Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to that last part. I was assuming that I didn't hear the whole take, but I'm assuming that he is in line with me and thinking that Harrison Butker's just not being used right now because the Chiefs have been so efficient, and that probably continues today. And I do think that the Chiefs can hit their 30 implied total without having to go for too many field goals, if not even like one. We should still expect one. I don't think two is very likely. On the other side, we do have the spot where Matt Gay is not going to be kicking, and they have Matthew Wright, who, if I'm sure he mentioned, used to kick for Kansas City last year for a few games. So he's used to kicking in the stadium. I don't know how Washington even gets to 13 points tonight. And that definitely worries me. And he could still like have, efficiency issues. It's not like he's been kicking each week. He's being called up from the practice squad and was on a different team in week 1. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that this thing can fail in terms of field goals.
A lot of the chat talking about Brashard Smith. I was on that bandwagon as well. A little concerned because I felt that his receiving yards prop, which is what I wanted action on, I felt the receiving yard prop for how he's been doing the last 4 weeks felt kind of low. So I'm wondering, is this going to burn out this week despite getting a great matchup against a defense bottom 10 against pass catching backs?
I think it kind of just comes down to how the first half goes. I think that they do want him to continue to have snap counts increased. I know that that's just kind of all over the place, and there's no real trends to say that. What we do have is that he essentially just got the role when they were up like 30 points last week. So I don't think we're going to see him much in the first half. He could still be there for the pass catching opportunities, and he's had like 3+ catches for 20+ yards in 4 straight games. The target share is there. It seems like when he's on the field, they do give him a decent target share. It's really hard to trust that, but I think what you're looking at for Brashard Smith is that I do think that he's just the team's best pass catching option. And I still think that even though he doesn't have a designation, I think Kareem Hunt is either banged up or they're just not willing to use him as much right now. And I do think we'll see a lot of Isaiah Pacheco on the ground. So as long as I think there are worlds where Pacheco and Smith can both get there in respective markets.
Which market do you like best for Brashard Smith?
I think if you can, depending on where you are and where you can play, I think you kind of have to go with rushing plus receiving yards. I'm not super convinced that he's going to get 3+ catches in a game where they're up by 3 scores. And that's really me banking on the Chiefs being up by that much by the third quarter, which is, I think, totally possible. But I guess we'll see how much Washington pushes back like the Raiders did in last week. I would say rush plus receiving, and I think that's sitting around 25 or 26 the last time I saw that.
Okay. Rushing plus receiving. I was looking at receiving. I do kind of like adding in the rush there just because I did feel the receiving felt a little low for my liking. Like, again, I think like it made sense numbers wise that he should go over it. Why is it so low? 15.5, I think, is what I saw. And I was like, he's gone over that in 4 straight weeks. That's concerning. At least go up to like 18.5.
Yeah, you're really banking on the Chiefs covering by a lot for those things to happen.
Okay, Marcus Mariota, he's getting the start for the Commanders today. Rushing yards is a market that you're looking at for him. What are you looking at?
Yeah, he's held his own. I'm not really looking at that last game so much, but in the 2 games that he has actually started, he's done really well from a rushing angle. He's cleared 20+ rushing yards in all 3 of the games that he's played this season. The Kansas City Chiefs, though, like obviously they are going to grade out extremely well in pretty much every single category. I do think where they struggle though is against they're either willing to let QBs rush on them or they just have an issue with that situation, and so they haven't been like, crushed like some teams out there. But I do think that it's a trend you can buy into, and they have been beaten by some run first quarterbacks. So if you expect the pass rush to be an issue, which I do for Mariota, I think he's been shown that he's willing enough to run there. So I like the actual over-under, which is 28.5. I think that's definitely parlay worthy. If you want to go and get an alt line, like 20 plus is really safe too.
Rashee Rice is making his second start of the year for the Kansas City Chiefs. He played against Vegas last week, October 19th. 7 receptions, 10 targets, 42 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Expectations for Rashee Rice game 2?
So for me, we're at Trinity Analytics. We're like really focused on the DFS side of things too, and he came in as like one of the most touted and most popular and highly owned players in those FanDuel and DraftKings contests. And it was mainly because the beat reporting coming out of Kansas City was that they were just extremely bullish on Rashee Rice coming in and just dominating and a concentrated effort for him. Now, there was also talk about him having a just right out the gate strong workload, and that's what we saw. And you got one more week under your belt, and you're coming in with confidence, and Kansas City is rolling, and the matchup on top of that is phenomenal. I think that we could see, now I can't guarantee 2 touchdowns, but I'm definitely leaning the over on the targets again. I'm leaning the over on the receiving yards. I think he could have had a much better day.
You're not afraid of back-to-back weeks?
I'm not afraid that, well, I guess there's a small world where Washington completely just duds out, and I do think that that's quite possible, but I'm expecting at least a little bit more pushback than what the Raiders, I think that the Chiefs had more first. I don't know if this is right. I'm just gonna say, like, I do think that the Raiders having 30 offensive snaps, that's not going to be the Commanders tonight. I think that they'll be able to actually push back a little bit, and then the Kansas City Chiefs will end up really running away with things late in the second half. So I think we're going to get a good 3.5 quarters of Rashee Rice, and I do think that there's much more big playability than last week. I think that they were giving him designed short routes to just kind of get him going. All it takes is for 1 or 2 Rashee Rice big explosion plays for him to get there.
The Commanders are without their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and he just played for 3 straight weeks. They did spend some time with a couple of games without him. Marcus Mariota was under center. 3 straight games where we did see Jaden Daniels. Now he's out again. How much is anybody in Washington in play tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a full fade on JCM. I think if you're kind of shit out of luck, honestly. If you have him in fantasy, I would try to look for a potential Chiefs option if they're available on your bench still for tonight. Or you can look for Jeremy McNichols, who should be the primary pass catching option. Look, Chris Rodriguez hasn't been targeted since last December. They're not using him in pass game scenarios, and they're not throwing to JCM. I think if anybody is on the field for these passing script situations, it's Jeremy McNichols. It's not a great matchup by any means.
Rush attempt prop I felt was pretty high too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Washington in general, they have a good yards per carry. It's in the top 5 this season, over 5. I think it's 5.3. But like, I can't imagine JCM is going to have a lot of success here. I do imagine that that McNichols is just going to be on the field for a lot of these pass catching situations, and that could lead to a couple draw plays, or it could lead to a couple designed runs for McNichols as well. I just think he's the preferred back for this game specifically.
Going to the NBA before we do our little SGP like we always do. Austin Reeves, he just put up 45 last night for the Lakers. They were on the road last night. Now they're on the second leg of a back-to-back at home tonight. You're not afraid of a back-to-back?
Not for Austin. And on top of that, Luka's out, LeBron's out. They just ruled out Smart and Gabe Vincent as well. There's so many guys that are out here, and I know that they listed 10 guys available to play. It's going to be the Reeves show. I do respect, but for what it's worth, Portland is actually playing really well the first week of the year. Call it whatever you want.
They have like the 11th best defense in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I mean, they have good lockdown defenders. They can switch and play very well. and they're moving through this coaching debacle. So I do think that there's a lot of things in play there. I do think that doesn't really matter for Reeves, though. I just think that his usage rate should be over 35% tonight. And for what it's worth, in the game without Luka yesterday, he had a 35.3% usage rate and an assist rate of 45.6%. And then furthermore, in the last 4 games that Reeves has played without Luka and LeBron, remember AD was there too, though he was missing time in those scenarios. Reeves has had 48 plus points, rebounds, and assists. So the consistency is extremely there.
Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are taking on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Steph is so hard to figure out in Golden State ever since Jimmy Butler came over. Between Steph, Draymond, Jimmy Butler, I had my ways of betting Curry and Draymond until Jimmy came in. And Jimmy just throws me for a loop because he screws with one of those two every game. How do we play Steph?
I think what you have to do when you look at Steph's spots is you have to look at where he averages, and I do think that is almost always, at least the last 5+ years, from above the break threes. We all know that he can shoot lights out when he's hot in those scenarios. And we have a decent matchup for the Grizzlies. Not only is this a spot where they're allowing a lot of paint points and a lot of above the break threes, which is what Curry specializes in. It's also one of the fastest paced environments on the card and one of the most pace up spots the Warriors are going to see. So you like to attack those scenarios, especially when the game total is up near 240. I just feel like, Curry's just undeniable when it comes to the above the break 3 stuff. And I'm always willing to buy into that action, even at pretty extreme markets. Like sometimes they'll even put him at like 4.5 threes. It's probably a spot where they do that again tonight, but he is leading the league in above the break 3 scoring per game.
There's a game tonight that really frustrates me because in the NBA, there are 2 teams that struggle with points allowed and rebounds allowed, and that is the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks. Yet I don't know who the hell is playing in Atlanta. Kristaps Porzingis is day-to-day. There were a few other day-to-days that were posted on their injury report. How are we capping this without knowing who's playing in Atlanta?
Yeah, the unfortunate part of this is that I don't think we can make that call on the show right now 100% because we don't know. Risa Shea,
I just feel like it's such a great game for people like us who love props, and I don't know how we're gonna be able to figure this out before tip.
Right. So hopefully we get news in the next 45 minutes, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know. NBA reporting's all over the place. I don't know if you saw this morning, but they are making a more concerned effort on trying to get that information out earlier. I don't know. We'll see. But Risa Shea, Johnson, Kristaps questionable. Giddey is questionable on the other side. It's really tough to engage in that. And I sent this over to you because it was obviously fascinating because both of these teams are top 5 pace in the league. Both of them have top 5 implied team totals. The game total is 241.5, which is one of the highest on the card. And the more important thing, at least right now, is like they're both doing pretty well and not allowing a lot of threes, and they are just getting absolutely devastated at the rim in the restricted area. So that's where you want to target. Like combined, they are allowing almost 50 field goals made in the restricted area so far this year. It's a really small sample size, but at least for Atlanta, that was something they did last year. In Chicago, same thing. So they're trying to take away the 3 ball, which just tells me if that is the thing, like we're going to see just an explosion of points from the guys that are actually going to be able to do that. The problem for Atlanta is that those guys that do benefit from restricted area scoring are the ones that are questionable, like you said. So you have a great spot for Onyeka Okongwu, who is the only guy that's not listed on the injury report for them. The backup center there, if Kristaps misses, he's in an elite spot for points and rebounds. And then the restricted area scorers for Atlanta, not named him, are going to be Johnson, and Kristaps is definitely in play there, though I do worry about that illness, which just seemed to carry over from last spring. So
it's going to live with him for forever, Kristaps.
Yeah, I mean, it probably will. You're probably right.
Well, I have a friend who has it, and the POTS thing, and it's your life. It drains you. You get lethargic. It's very difficult to play professional sports it's hard to live a day-to-day sometimes, and it sticks with you. You don't really get rid of it. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah, that just tells me that he's going to be like sitting out front or back halves or one half of the back-to-back moving forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. That would be my hunch. Well, there's two major stories, one from last year, one from this year. SGA MVP last year for OKC. This year, it looks like Wemby's on that same path. For people that do like to play these very well-known big names, where can we take advantage in the market on both of them?
Yeah, I know it's always tough to see like Wembanyama's fantasy score like 60 and be like, oh, he's gonna try to get that high again. The problem is like he always just finds a way to get that or at least make it sweaty, right? Like he has 15 blocks in his last 2 games, which is insane. The scoring's off the charts. I know that he's going to have high markets everywhere. I'm a fantasy number guy first, so that's where my head always goes. And if you're telling me that blocks and steals count as fantasy points, I'm game whenever, especially in these like 5+ block situations for Wemby. Just something we haven't seen in a very long time. I do think that the usage rate's also extremely good, 33.8%, which is 6th in the NBA. If you don't have fantasy point environments, I do think that points, rebounds is where I would land. He should have an above average scoring night. The Raptors are not allowing a lot of threes, but they are allowing a ton of restricted area field goals, and that is where Wembanyama ranks 2nd in the league. He's averaging 7.3 makes in the restricted area off of 9 field goal attempts. Extremely efficient as well. So that's where I'd lean if I wasn't doing the fantasy stuff. In terms of SGA, it's just a spot where like I just think that anytime OKC is going to be within a non-blowout game environment, then I'm willing to bet that SGA can do it with all of these guys out right now. You have Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, they're all out. And on top of that, Chet is going to play, but he's questionable. So who knows if he's really obviously not 100%. So with that said, SGA is the 2nd highest usage rate in the NBA, 36%. He has the most drives per game as well at 23.3. And you got this Dallas defense who on paper looks really, really good. But I do think that they're just going to be beat in the zones that SGA is very, very good at. We already know that so far this season, Dallas is allowing the most mid-range field goals, the 10th most paint field goals, and the 8th most restricted area field goals per game. So essentially anything from the free throw line in. And SGA is the league leader from the mid-range to start the year. And he's just a top 50 scorer, top 30 scorer in the paint and restricted area. So the dude's going to drive to the hoop. He's probably going to have success, even if he gets fouled 20 times.
We're running out of time, and I have some technical issues right now, so I don't think we can put together our SGP today. I apologize. I'll send you a message as to what's going on behind the scenes, but I have a few little things that I have to work out with this new partnership. So I will let you go early today. Jared Block, thank you so much for giving us your insights into tonight's slate, NBA, Monday Night Football, anything for World Series real quick.
Man, this one has been really fun to watch. I was all over the Blue Jays in game 1, but I did not see that one coming on over the weekend. I don't have many notes, but what I do know is that, like, you know, the LA Dodgers obviously don't want to have their bullpen get anything. That's been the big story here. I expect Glasnow to be I think that they're willing to let him push a little bit, though I'm worried about him getting the strikeouts in this matchup, like we've talked about as the Jays have gone along. So I would look at an under strikeout stuff for Glasnow. From there, I really don't have much to tell you.
I understand. Hey, listen, anything against the Jays is under and nothing when it comes to those strikeout props against the Blue Jays this year. Jared Block, thanks so much for coming on. We'll see you again next. Well, I'm going to be on vacation next week, but maybe you and Matt will get to meet and talk. So we'll see if I could arrange that.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Jared. Make sure to give him a follow over at Jared R. Block as well and Trinity Analytics. It is time now for our Prop Queen Edges of the Day. We probably have propaganda. Let me go see real quick. John Ewing from BetMGM. He always posts this kinds of stuff. I just was very behind today. Yeah. Okay. We have World Series. So let's get to propaganda. Some of the most public sides today in that prop market: Shohei Ohtani to hit a homer at plus 155. Vladdy Guerrero homer at 3-1. Bo Bichette under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Freddie Freeman to hit a homer at plus 375. And Max Scherzer under 4.5 Ks, but that's at like minus 175. Rashi Rice is the most bet on player to score a touchdown in Monday Night Football. Rashard Smith, his over receiving yards, most bet on player prop in Monday Night Football. Smith over receiving yards and receptions. Mahomes under an interception. Thornton over 1.5 receiving yards. And Noah Gray over 0.5 a reception are some of the most liked sides in the props market, which is kind of scary because we did like some of those. So some of the edges, and I didn't get to make a graphic today. Oh, gosh. See, well, my relatives don't know that I'm working. Gosh, hold on. Now I have to text my aunt who's calling me on air. When you text someone, like you text them like 7 hours ago, I texted her at 10 a.m. Call me. 10 a.m. 6. Anyway. I will show you guys first my Sports Equinox Prizepicks lineup of the day. And for anyone who missed it, we are now a Prizepicks show, so lots to come. Prizepicks, Sidney Crosby over 0.5 point. I reached out to my guy, Troy Perlowitz from the NHL on this one. I said, hey, I need to do a Sports Equinox Prizepicks lineup. Give me something. So he said Sidney Crosby because he only needs 2 points to reach 1,700 for his career. So for him to have multiple points would be a little bit more if you think he could do it in one game. And Crosby has 4 points in his last 3 against St. Louis. So Sidney Crosby over 0.5 point tonight. Max Scherzer over 0.5 walk. I was looking at props.cash. I'll show you guys the props.cash on Max Scherzer. If you were to take this down to 0.5 walk, Max Scherzer, look at this. His last 10, he's gone over in 8 of his last 10. On the road, 9 of the last 10, Max Scherzer's gone over 0.5 walk. So I like the 0.5 walk for Max Scherzer tonight against the Dodgers. Marcus Mariota under 195.5 passing yards. I mentioned this in the PropQueen.com newsletter earlier today. So Marcus Mariota, let me see. I'm going to get the numbers right. So through Mariota's last 20 games when he's taken 90% of the snaps, he's averaged 169 passing yards per game on the road. And the Chiefs have allowed the 3rd least passing yards per game at 182. 71% of quarterbacks to face the Chiefs this year have gone under their passing yards prop. So Marcus Mariota under 195.5 for his passing yards. Then everybody's going to go to Austin Reeves tonight in LA. Second leg of a back-to-back. Austin Reeves goes off for 45 last night. Rui Hachimura had 18. He could still do better. I'll show you again on props.cash Rui Hachimura's numbers on the second leg, and I'm going to compare them to Austin Reeves on a second leg without Luka and LeBron. So Rui Hachimura, and again, you can get this all at props.cash using promo code PropQueen. It's super helpful. So, of course, there's... Oh, sorry, that's on the road. Home. Of course, there's a little red, right? Well, let's go without Luka, and let's go without LeBron. And then let's go. So, already without Luka and LeBron at home, 5 of the last 6 for Rui have gone... Oh, wait, I'm not even showing you. Hold on. 5 of the last 6 for Rui have gone over 15.5 points without LeBron and without Luka when he's at home. On 0 days rest, let's just do 0 days rest at home in general. What did I do? No LeBron, no Luka. Home. Second leg of a back-to-back without Luka, without LeBron. Overall, home or white, doesn't matter. 3 of 4 have gone over for Rui Hachimura. So keep that in mind, okay? Rui Hachimura tonight. Now let's compare this to Mr. Austin Reeves, who is the biggest name on the slate right now because of last night's 45-point performance. 0 days rest without Luka and LeBron. 4 of the 5 have gone under 28.5 points. The numbers inflated at this point on Austin Reeves. I'm going to go with the player that no one's talking about on the second leg of a back-to-back, who has more history of being better on a second leg, Rui Hachimura. So I'm going Rui over on my Prizepicks lineup today. $100 makes you $550 for these 4 legs hitting. So good luck. You could bet a little more or put a little more on it. I was going to put a little more on it, but I figured let's just play it safe for a start. So Prizepicks, multi-sports. Yes, essentially, Lewis. Absolutely. And again, you could sign up on Prizepicks. $5 gets you $50 instantly in lineups using promo code PropQueen. Go and sign up and support. It's really a great app, honestly. And I've had a lot of fun playing around with it and seeing all the different payouts that we can get for all of our props. And sometimes you get better numbers for better odds, essentially, over at Prizepicks for putting them into one of those Prizepicks lineups. So go check it out and play around with it. It's a lot of fun. I've definitely, and then Jess said, Prizepicks also offers esports legs too. That's pretty cool. They've got a lot of different things. I've got some more NFL that we could get to and more Major League Baseball. So I guess we could start with in MLB. Will Smith has been on absolute fire recently. He's healthy again, hitting above 400 in a 6-game win streak. I just want to make sure I get right all the different stats I had on him. So Will Smith, when he's at home, hold on. I just love using Props.cash. It's so fun to play around with. At home on 1 day's rest, or just 1 day of rest in general in his last 10, or in 2025. Yeah, 2025 on 1 day of rest. I'm thinking like, okay, does anybody's bat slow down because it's 1 day of rest? Will Smith doesn't. Look at this. Will Smith, 1 day of rest, 65% of his last 20, 66% of games he averages. Oh, wait, that's a hit. Sorry, I want hits, runs, and RBI. 1 day of rest at home, 55% of his last 20 at home at night. I think was a little bit better. 54% at home at night. What about against a righty? 54%. Last 10? He's just been on fire lately. Overall against a righty at night. At night on 1 day of rest, 60%, 6 of the last 10, 65% went over, averaging 2.5 this season. Hits, runs, and RBI with 1 day of rest at night. So I'm liking Will Smith tonight. And then you guys know that we go to our boy, George Springer. George Springer tonight to score a run. It's back in plus money. I saw it around plus 111, plus 110. 1 day of rest at night through the last 10, 55% on the road, 73% of games this year on 1 day of rest on the road at night. On the road at night in general this year, 56% have gone over in the last 10. What about 2025? 7 of the last 10 for George Springer on the road at night have gone over for George Springer, over a half a run. So again, I saw this around plus 111, plus 110 earlier. George Springer's been absolutely fantastic. He homered in his final 3 games at Dodger Stadium in the 2017 World Series. In 16 career World Series games, Springer has 16 runs, almost as many walks as strikeouts. Springer's 797 slugging in the World Series is the best of all time. He's reached base in half of his 14 career plate appearances against Glasnow, 6 for 13 with a home run. So I'm definitely looking at George Springer tonight. I'm looking at Will Smith tonight. And I'm looking at the over a half a walk for Max Scherzer tonight. Yeah, definitely try out Prizepicks. It's really great. So I appreciate anyone who signs up and use promo code PropQueen so I can get a little credit in regards to they just want to see that my people will support. It's just a fun, different way of doing this. Which bet? The Springer one? I mean, it's been hitting. Look at this. Look at Springer in the postseason. Let's just ignore all these other categories and just look at Springer in the playoffs. This is insane. Insane. You have to be taking this. Here's the thing. We weren't able to take George Springer in the last game of the ALCS because it got to minus 160. We're back at plus 111, plus 110. It's so worth it. Go for it. So, yeah, I'm going to probably do another Prizepicks lineup with George Springer. The problem, I think, this is why I didn't put it in. Prizepicks only had him at 1.5. I wanted a half. I don't want a 1.5. That's why I didn't put that in the Prizepicks lineup, or else I would have put George Springer in. He was at a half. But you could do Max Scherzer over half a walk, which you could only get 1.5 from extras or elsewhere. So that's why I put that in, because that was the better number to be able to get at Prizepicks. No monthly fee. You just have to, use Prizepick lineups through them. It's not a subscription. Like Props.cash is a subscription service because it's giving you information. This Prizepicks is like any other book. It's just another place to use and put your money into to essentially gamble. Promo is for the bonus. So play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups using promo code PropQueen. You can go sign up today over at Prizepicks. It's a lot of fun to play around with. You do them more or less than, and I hope I don't get myself into trouble because there's different lingo that we use over at Prizepicks. So I have to like get used to using their lingo. It's more or less than. And there's streaks too, which is something that you could use like for streaks. You get to choose like, it's like a promo where you get to choose like a different streak to put your money on. Very interesting. Okay, so some other NFL props that we could use and put in the Prizepicks lineup tonight. So I gave you kind of everything I liked in the World Series today. We're already over the showtime. No big deal. I have to write the newsletter for the afternoon. Okay. I'm going to be careful. I told you Mariota under his passing yards. Be careful of the Washington wide receivers. The Chiefs have been the second best in the league against wide receivers this year. So I'm staying away from any Commanders wide receivers. Mahomes over 22.5 completions. This is another props.cash find. Let's go to NFL. So Mark Zinno texted me this morning, who comes on the show all the time. Mark Zinno texted me and he goes, hey, a buddy of mine told me that Patrick Mahomes has this great stat about his completions. He said Mahomes has recorded 24 plus completions in each of Kansas City's last 7 Monday Night Football games. So, of course, then I say, well, now let me just go look at his last 10 primetime games at home. And wait, prime home time. Hold on, there was something else. Home primetime games. Oh, because that's at 22. It is at 22.5 earlier. So 7 of the last 10 home primetime games. Look at the last 20. 75% of the last 20 home primetime games for Patrick Mahomes has gone over 22.5 pass completions. The only reason that I'm erring with caution on this one is because it's double-digit spread, and I'm a little worried that he might not have to throw the football so much if they get ahead. So that would be my only concern tonight on that trend. But I did feel that the trend was worth telling you guys that. Oh, sorry. I was looking at what Jessica was saying because she always has some insightful things to say. But yes, so the Patrick Mahomes over completions was very intriguing as long as you're not afraid of it being a blowout and him having to stop. I know everybody's looking at Rashard Smith, but he's one of the most bet on players tonight. And I'm very worried because it's been 4 straight weeks that Rashard Smith's gone over 15.5 receiving yards. So why is this number still 15.5? It's a fishy line to me. I'm staying away. Another player that I'm looking at is Marquise Hollywood Brown to go over his longest reception because everybody is, I like to zig when everyone zags. Everybody is looking. Wait, hold on. I'm at the wrong thing. I need receiving longest reception. Everyone's on Rashee Rice. So I'm going to go look elsewhere. Home primetime games. Look at all this green for home primetime games for Hollywood Brown. 13.5 is his longest reception. He's gone over that in every one of his last, 6 of his last 7 primetime home games. Hollywood Brown has gone over 13.5 for longest reception. So we're going over. That's definitely something. Say, what was the story on your friend sending you Mahomes primetime completions? My friend Mark Zinno texted me this morning that Mahomes has had 24 more pass completions in 7 straight Monday Night Football games. Monday night, not just primetime. Monday night, Patrick Mahomes has had 24 or more completions. So that's just a trend to know about Monday Night Football. Anything on Travis Kelce? I really like a Chiefs tight end to score tonight. I can't give you a minus 110 on a tight end anytime touchdown. I can't do it. I don't know what you're getting. You could if it's like a Prizepicks lineup if you want to throw in a touchdown. The Commanders are one of the worst defenses this year against tight ends. They have allowed the 6th most touchdowns in the league to tight ends. But then I was looking at Noah Gray, and Noah Gray just didn't get a lot of red zone targets. But again, if you're getting like 3-1 on Noah Gray, it's a much better payout than Travis Kelce. I do think somebody scores a touchdown who's a tight end in Kansas City tonight. I always thought Noah Gray was going to be the primetime option, but he's clearly not. He doesn't really score much in primetime. It's Travis Kelce. That's what I've got on tight end week. Travis Kelce. But I do. Oh, Gracie says Noah Gray going off tonight. Gracie knows. Gracie knows. She's got the in at Kansas City. You guys don't know Gracie. She hasn't popped up in the chat. She has. I've seen her in the chat, but she hasn't posted something that I've put out there for you guys. I like Noah Gray tonight. So we're going to go Noah Gray touchdown. Gracie just assured me that we're going Noah Gray. But I think a tight end scores tonight for Kansas City, for sure. Washington is bad against tight ends. It's the only – I was looking at which defenses are bottom 10 in touchdowns allowed to each position, and the only one bottom 10 in this game in touchdowns allowed to a position, Washington against tight ends. So the Chiefs have to score with some kind of tight end tonight. And the other fishy line prop I had, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier with Jared Block, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. His rush attempt prop's 12.5. He's gone over that in 3 straight weeks, yet all 3 of those games were with his starting quarterback, Jaden Daniels. And in the 2 games this year with Daniels out, JCM had 8 and 7 rush attempts. So why is this number so high at 12.5? The Chiefs have allowed the 2nd least rush attempts per game to running backs. 5 of the last 6 running backs to face the Chiefs went under their rush attempts prop. The number just feels so high, and if the Commanders are playing from behind because they're double-digit dogs, then I don't see how you get over 12.5 rush attempts with Marcus Mariota. Are you even going to have the ball for that long in Washington? I just don't trust it to be JCM's night. 3 straight weeks he's gone over it. I guess that's why it's 12.5. But when you look at those last 2 games where it's Marcus Mariota under center and not Jaden Daniels, he couldn't even hit 10. I thought it was a little bit of a fishy line for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt tonight. That's all I got for you guys today here on the Prop Queen Pod. My Royal Locks of the day, I guess we could get to. And my Royal Locks are now going to be sponsored by Pickett. So let's get to Royal Locks. Royal Locks of the day brought to you by Pickett Sports. My Royal Lock of the day is going to be Marcus Mariota to go under 199.5 for his passing yards tonight. I just don't trust him against this really good Kansas City defense. When taking 90% of the snaps, Mariota has gone under this in 20. Oh my gosh, everyone's calling me. Through Mariota's last 20 games, when taking 90% of snaps, he's averaging 169 passing yards per game on the road. The Chiefs have allowed the 3rd least passing yards per game at 182. 71% of quarterbacks to face the Chiefs have gone under their passing yard prop. I've seen this go from 190. Well, it was like 202, and now it's 199. It went to 195. So we're going under on the Marcus Mariota passing yards. We are going over a half a walk for Max Scherzer. Obviously, this should be the price. I mean, that's really the Pickett Royal Lock of the day, the Prizepicks lineup. The first Prizepicks lineup, now that we are officially a Prizepicks show, official sponsor of the Prop Queen Pod. So excited to be part of the Prizepicks family. So again, if you want to join Prizepicks, you could join using promo code PropQueen. You play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. Sidney Crosby, over half a point. He needs 2 to hit 1,400 in his career. And he's got 4 points in his last 3 games against St. Louis. Scherzer, over half a walk. He walks a lot of batters. He's wild. We only need 1. Marcus Mariota to go under or less than 195.5 for his passing yards. And Rui Hachimura goes more than 15.5 points tonight. Everyone's looking at Austin Reeves. We're going to look at Rui Hachimura to have a big game. And like Gracie said, Noah Gray is going off tonight. Touchdown, Noah Gray. Probably should get 3-1, close to it. John Harbaugh says he expects, Lamar, that was the whole thing, J-Main. Wait, what? Oh, it's not Iris. Iris is my mom. It's her sisters. Both her sisters just called me. I don't know why. Well, I told one of them. I told them to call me earlier, but it was like 10 a.m. Oh, the lines in the airport are extra long. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. That's on Friday, though. We've got some time. Oh, Jamie, and that's who I was talking to. Lamar. The whole plan was, I guess, for him to not have to play in a short week. Look at what happened in San Francisco. They played Brock Purdy, and then it was a short week, and he didn't end up, he got hurt again. So I'm okay with not playing Lamar on a short week. They're very lucky that they won. And my Ravens are now the favorites again to win the AFC North. So, on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Just kidding. Thank you guys, and thanks for all the support. Please go sign up for Prizepicks and use promo code PrepQueen. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just another place to go get some action down and enjoy watching sports tonight and your sports equinox. Again, official sponsor now of the Prep Queen Pod. Prizepicks. Welcome to the fam. See you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time here on the Prep Queen Pod.